Vesper Gleamrail. In the hush of the celestial railway, Vesper Gleamrail moves between the silver carriages, her hand steady on the polished rails. Though she bears the name Emberless, she is the quiet keeper of the faint glows that guide the nomadic trains across the star-strewn night. Each night she watches the constellations shift, feeling the pulse of the railway as it drifts through the void, and she wonders whether the world beyond the next station will ever feel like home. A sudden cold tremor ripples through the main engine, and the luminous threads that bind the rails flicker out like dying fireflies. A faint, desperate whisper reaches Vesper's ears, a cry from a hidden compartment where a child, Lyra, clutches a broken star-shaped crystal. The railway, once unending, now falters, and the nomads stare at the darkness that threatens to swallow their path. The silence forces Vesper to confront a truth she has long avoided. She steps onto the exposed platform of the abandoned station, feeling the cold air bite her skin, and decides to leave the comfort of the moving carriages. With a resolve forged in emberless stillness, she vows to seek the source of the fading light, even if it means stepping into the uncharted void beyond the tracks. Along the way, she meets Orion, a weathered lighthouse keeper who tends the ancient beacon at the edge of the galaxy, and Caden, a sentient locomotive whose copper heart beats with forgotten memories. Together they reveal a central conflict. The celestial railway is losing its fire, and the emberless condition that marks Vesper may be the key to either restoring the flame or extinguishing it forever. The trio faces a cascade of obstacles, shattered archways that collapse at the slightest touch, corridors that loop back on themselves, and whispers of a shadow or order that hoards the last ember. Each revelation deepens the mystery. The emberless attribute is as a curse but a dormant conduit, and the lost crystal Lyra carries holds a map to the core of stars, the heart of the railway's power. At the midpoint, the map ignites, projecting a blinding vision of the core, a massive, inert engine suspended in the darkest sector. The stakes surge. If the core remains dark, every nomad train will drift forever. Vesper realizes that reaching the core will require her to traverse the forbidden void bridge, a path no emberless has ever taken, and that the journey will demand she sacrifice the safety of her companions. The void bridge collapses beneath them, sending Caden spiraling into a vortex of static. Lyra is trapped in a pocket of frozen Nine, and Orion's lantern sputters out. In that crucible, Vesper feels the weight of every emberless soul who ever feared being without fire. She must choose between retreat, which would doom the railway, or a desperate plunge into the abyss, trusting that her lack of flame might become a beacon. With a breath that feels like a silent prayer, Vesper extends her hands toward the dormant core, and the emberless within her awakens, not as fire, but as a resonant hum that harmonizes with the universe's song. The core pulses, releasing a wave of luminous particles that surge through the railway, rekindling the fading glows. The darkness recedes, and the trains roar back to life, their lights dancing to the new rhythm Vesper has summoned. The celestial railway hums anew, its carriages glowing brighter than before, guided by the harmonious blend of flame and stillness. Vesper stands at the helm of the foremost carriage, whose emberless nature now celebrated as a unique harmony. The nomads gather, sharing stories of the child Lyra, the lighthouse keeper Orion, and the sentient locomotive Caden, whose memories now shine as bright as the stars. In this new equilibrium, Vesper knows that every journey begins with a single, quiet step.